Phil. And out front now, former Reagan White House Director Jeffrey Lord, State Department spokesperson under Hillary Clinton, Nayyera Haq, CNN special correspondent Jamie Gangel, and our senior media correspondent Brian Stelter. Also with us, our senior legal analyst Paul Callan. Jamie, let me just start with you on your reporting. I mean, you want him to get it right, and it is complicated, okay? So there is that. But having this postponed so suddenly, and now it's going to be after the Electoral College meets to vote.
Right.
That is a pretty stunning development.
Right. So, to give him fair due, we are in uncharted territory.
Right.
We know that this is a business like no other, a family business. And we've known for quite some time he wasn't going to divest. There wasn't going to be a blind trust. What we've been hearing is that there are a lot of lawyers involved and that they were looking for an elegant way to do it, the best way to do it. And this is simply not going to ever be simple. On the other hand, appearance matters. And putting this off until January reminds me of what did we never see? His tax returns, right? Things get pushed down the road.
Interesting.
And I think there are going to be concerns about, is this ever going
And he has
happen?
talked about this issue when he's been asked, and he's given answers that are less than satisfactory when it gets to the bottom line here. Here's what he said yesterday about how he would handle the businesses when he's in the White House.
My executives will run it with my children. It's a big company. It's a great company. But I'm going to have nothing to do with management.
Nothing to do with management, Paul Callan, but that doesn't address the fundamental issue here, which is that as long as his children are at the helm, a worldwide business like Donald Trump's could benefit from people doing things for it or giving it business simply because they want to influence him. There is no way around that.
No, there isn't. This is a unique problem we're facing, though, and when you think about it in the history of the presidency, most presidents, they come in with inherited wealth or they come in from other public service. Now we have a model of a billionaire coming in with a large empire, and we have to adjust and look at it. Earlier today I was looking back in history to see what happened with George Washington, what happened with Thomas Jefferson. Neither one of them sold off their plantations. Jefferson didn't sell Monticello, and Washington continued with Mount Vernon. And they made very good presidents. So, I think he's going to find a way to make this work. He's got to, because otherwise his presidency will not be taken seriously.
Is it, Brian, just about this?
No.
Or is this about he doesn't want to have a press conference right now before the Electoral College or something else?
The question is, what is he hiding? What is he hiding? I keep asking, what is he afraid to answer? This is not about, to me, not about his businesses. Most presidents-elect have a press conference a few days after being elected. That means in early or mid-November. That goes all the way back to Carter. Normally, you step out and you answer questions whether you're elected for the first time or whether you're reelected. It's been almost 5 weeks. So what is it that he doesn't want to answer? Yes, he has given a few interviews, 60 Minutes, Fox News, and he's been tweeting. But mostly we've heard from him through Twitter and through these rallies. We have not seen him answer a lot of questions. So what is he hiding? Why doesn't he want to answer questions this week from reporters?
And Jeffrey, what's the answer to that?
I don't think he's hiding a thing. I think he just...
Then he should have a press conference on Thursday.
As Jamie says, this is complicated business. The very last thing you want to do is come out and do the kind of press conference you're suggesting here, and that was suggested for today or whatever, and get it wrong, because then the media would be all over you.
But he could have had a press conference to talk about anything. There's lots of things to talk about, Jeffrey. He hasn't held one in 5 weeks.
He also could have actually been far more transparent in just sharing some of what the challenges are. I mean, we haven't seen tax returns. We're not seeing a press conference in 140 days on any topic. So there's a consistent lack of transparency, almost that it indicates he wasn't expecting to be president. I mean, he's known for a long time he was running for this office. Why weren't things in the works? And why wasn't this a process that had been sorted out, or at least the direction? I think where he's once again benefiting from a lowered set of expectations, where it's easy to say, well, this is a unique circumstance. He knew what he was getting into, and it's not fair to say that he's absolutely not going to divest, and he's not going to create a trust.
His choices are really doing very well here. I mean, he's really proceeding apace, filling his administration.
But
that's where his focus should be.
He's not answering the question that, frankly, several members of the Electoral College have been asked, that several folks across the aisle have asked, and even within his own party, which is, what is going to be the motivation behind his
but the American
decisions?
people have decided
Is he going to be motivated by his own business interests? In order to put that question to rest, divest, separate, and put country before self. I think this points to a broader challenge he's having of really separating himself from the presidency.
Is this also, though, Jeffrey, a point that he's making to the media that he wants to make again and again? He will come out as he chooses. He will put the videos out with policy. He will do Twitter. He'll do an interview here and there.
That's right.
But basically,
I mean,
he has no respect for the press in the sense of the press being a conduit by which he can reach the people. In terms of the press asking questions, he doesn't respect that.
And listen to my friend Brian over here, and we've had this conversation. And I've said that what we have here is a late 20th century media dealing with somebody who's going to be a 21st century president in terms of communication. And with all due respect to everybody here and all of CNN and every place else, he's going to do what he can to get around the media and get his message out the way he wants to do it.
But there are unintended consequences. We're going to hear more conversation about the Electoral College now than we would have because Donald Trump doesn't seem to want to talk about it.
A little bit of a conversation more than normal, right?
There's going to be even
but not
more
the way it's going to be
these
now.
Russia issues because it doesn't seem like Donald Trump wants to talk about it.
It also indicates a consistent lack of preparedness. It is not difficult to go out and prepare to say something. To go radically silent only leads to even more questions.
Not radically silent.
Can I jump in and make just one point?
I would argue with that.
Go ahead, Jamie, then
Welcome
Paul.
to the world of Donald Trump. He's playing by his own set of rules. I don't see any difference now than what we saw in the campaign. He was perfectly willing to come out and be interviewed and do press conferences over and over again. This is what he wants to do right now.
But what he wants to do doesn't necessarily mean it's what's best for the country or best for the institution.
Paul, go ahead.
Yeah, I think what we really have here is a private sector person becoming president of the United States. And there's a certain irony that the largest capitalist country on earth and the most successful, for the first time, has a private sector businessman taking office. And a lot of people are upset about it, and it's going to take time to make this work. But the American people decided that's what they wanted. And I think the complexity of his business empire is going to haunt us for a few months, but he's going to get through it. He has to. It's just a new model for us to get used to.
All right. Thanks to all.